We all know why we're here. So let me ask you a question then. Why the big secret? Truth seekers were really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we're knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, truth seekers were really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, break it down, now can you peep it? They're deceiving all the people. Let me ask you, what's the secret? Misinformation and lies, a devious disguise. They want the EMF blast until our brains is fried. Oh, point their beams in the sky. Oh, it's a movie now. This world is all CGI, their plot is truly foul. But we're here to rise up and bring the real. Time is now, truth seekers, y'all know how I feel. Truth seekers were really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we're knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, truth seekers were really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, why the big secret?
Anyway, you could have been any other place tonight, but you chose to be right here, right now. And with that being said, we're going to serve you. And first of all, I want to welcome you to Forbid Knowledge TV. I'm your host, Roderick Martin, and this is the Why the Big Secret Show. And we do this on Tuesday night is how we roll. And for the most part, it's all good. And we're going to get some things down. Tonight we're going to be talking about those hybrids tonight. We really are. We're going to be talking about some hybrids, the possibilities, and everything else. We're in the command center here in Dallas, Texas, where we're rearranging the studio, and so we got a few things happening. But let's get it all rocking right now. So let me kind of check, turn the volume down here for you a little bit. And we'll do that as well. So we're changing the studio up a little bit. So some of the equipment has been re-hooked up and everything else. So anyway, I'm going to turn this music down so we don't even have to worry about it if you can't hear me or can hear me and all that. But hopefully you can hear my voice. And that is one of the things that we're going to be doing. Real quickly, we're going to get right into, I think, something great. And that is about hybrids and the possibility of what the theory is. Could we have some hybrid babies out there? And, what's going on. So you definitely want to stick around throughout the entire show, because we're going to pose a lot of questions. We're going to talk about some societal implications. We're going to talk about just all of the possibilities. And you know what? There have been some reports in the past that there were some women saying that they was pregnant. And so we'll definitely get with that in a little bit. But first of all, let's thank Judy for the contributions. And how do we get you music, Roderick. What do you mean? Okay, I don't know the question. How do we get you music, Roderick? What kind of music you're trying to get me? I don't know. Get with my show producer, Lonnie, and she can definitely make any and all wish like Fantasy Allen happen. So she can definitely do that. I hope all of you had a great weekend, and I hope that it was just whatever you want it to be. But now, again, we're going to get into some stuff. So put the children to bed because what we talk about is not PG, and we're not going down that road, and we're going to do that. So also, let me just play a little things that's up and coming, some messages real quick, and we will get on with our
Hey
show.
everybody, it's Billy Carson, also known as Forbidden Knowledge. I want to talk to you about a very special event coming up July 30th, 2023. The Forbidden Conscious Awards, the first annual event of its type. We're going to honor people who have been contributing to the conscious community for decades. People that you know and love that have helped you get to higher levels of thought and consciousness and awareness. And guess what? It's time to give them their flowers while they're still alive. It's going to be a live in-person event, but seats are going to sell out very fast. You want to make sure you're there in person for this amazing level event. It's going to be above the Oscars, above the Grammys. And guess what? You can help vote for the winners. Voting is available on forbiddenknowledge.com. And the categories are going to be social media influencer, podcast/radio host, TV host, actor, director, producer, entrepreneurs, health and wellness, philanthropists, authors, field researchers, archaeologists, space anomaly hunters, and of course, a Lifetime Achievement Award. And you want to be there in person because I'm going to be speaking. That's right, I'll be your keynote speaker that night at the Forbidden Conscious Awards. If you want to come to a mini conference, this is the place to be because I'm going to give you the knowledge that night as well as performances. We have celebrity guests performing. We'll have a halftime show where we're actually going to perform music for you. And don't forget about the pre-event mixer, where if you buy a box seat, you'll be in the VIP section, and you also have private access to a VIP mixer with celebrity guests. Shake hands, break bread, network, and then walk the red carpet with us and take amazing photos. It's going to be a night to remember. You don't want to forget this. And you help vote by going to forbiddenknowledge.com. Go to the Conscious Awards link. You can text in a vote for who you want for any category, as well as if you're out of the country, you can use the web form ballot to still vote for anyone you think is worthy of being honored that night. Make sure you hurry up and get your tickets because they're selling out very fast. I want to see you there. Forbidden Conscious Awards 2023.
There you have it, the Forbidden Conscious Award 2023, and actually I've already been nominated for one of the podcast sections, and so I'm going to ask you, the people that's listening right now, vote for me. You know what? There you go. There's a link in the there as well. There's the website. You can go to voteforroderick.com. It's going to take you over to the Forbidden Knowledge Conscious Award, where you can vote and put me in, the podcast section. I just need a few of you. I know everybody, I got a few haters out there, but for the love, the ones that do love, go over there to voteforroderick.com. It'll take you over to the Forbidden Knowledge forum where you can then say, you know what, we're going to vote Roderick part of the podcast crew. So definitely look forward for it, and we're going to see you there at the Conscious Award. So let's get down into our conversations, and I'm ready to get down in it. One of the things we're going to be talking about, like I said, is and I got my notes today. We're going to go over a lot of notes. I got my spectacles if I need them. But let's get down to it because it's just going to be an intense conversation. We're going to talk about what the deal is when it comes down to the alien-human hybrid theory and the possibility of the existence. We can go back into some of the history, and some of the discussions would be the source of fascination. There's a lot of speculation when it comes down to alien hybrids from ancient civilizations, otherworldly beings, and you see this in artwork. You got all kind of stuff from modern science. You got the idea of life beyond the planet, as well as a lot of stuff that has captured all of our imagination when it comes down to, could they be here already, and if so, could we have some alien hybrids here? So we're gonna check that out. But it wasn't until the mid-20th century. Okay, let me go over some timelines with you so that you can understand that reports of alien encounters, some of the abductions, And some of the stuff, it all started in 1947. So let's give you some background here. We're talking about the infamous Roswell incident, which there was a UFO, if you remember. There was a UFO that allegedly crashed in a remote area of New Mexico. Now, while the U.S. Military initially claimed that it was some type of weather balloon, and of course we're dealing with that today, but many people remain convinced that it was an extraterrestrial contact. Now, where I'm going with this helps spark the wave of interest into UFOs, alien encounters that would continue to grow over the decades. And we're still talking about that today. So we're talking about throughout the 1950s and 60s. There was a lot of reports of sightings, encounters with extraterrestrial beings continue to emerge. We're talking about in 1961, you remember the Betty and Barney Hill story, where they claimed they had been abducted by aliens, and this had happened back in New Hampshire. And now this event will become one of the most famous ones. In fact, Michelle and Barack Obama's now today is going to do a Netflix documentary with that story. So you definitely want to check that out because it's going to be happening. But one of the things is that in the following years of this particular story, more and more people come forward with similar stories of abductions. Now, we're starting with abductions. Now we're going to move into, could they now be hybrids? But let's take you down the thing. So we're talking about, there was claims often, now this happened often with a lot of skepticism now and ridicule, I just want you to know, from the scientific community. So we still have these barriers out there from science to the regular communities and everyone else. But once again, there was a lot of speculation there. However, some researchers, here's where it changed, began to take the reports a little more seriously and now believing that there could be evidence of the real phenomenon. So I'm taking you down the events and now how we get here or got here to the hybrid side. Now, in the 1980s, 1990s, the idea of hybridization began to emerge, and I'm talking really emerging as a possible explanation for some of these encounters. Then we have the researchers. They propose that aliens may be interbreeding with humans in order to create a new species that combines the best of both traits. There was a couple of movies out there, and I forget one of them where the guy actually, they turned him into some hybrid. I don't know if y'all remember, somebody might remember the movie, but at the end he was flying around in space, or wherever the planet they sent him. It was just kind of weird from there, but you can check that out as well. And hang on a second here. But at the end of the day, the speculation began to grow and a lot. All right. So with the evidence of hybridizations still a subject to debate, now the skepticism, it remains that it was fascinating. People's like, okay, this is intriguing. Movies start to be made about it, as well as surrounding the possibility that the hybridizations and the discussed potential social, and we're talking cultural implications, all of this stuff started to come up. And that brings us into where we are today, okay? And so we're going to get into some of the things right now. So for decades, and we're talking for the past few years, people have reported with these encounters. And if you don't remember, there was a video that I did quite some time ago that talked about there was women reporting that there was possibility that they have been impregnated by extraterrestrials. You remember that? If not, go back and look at one of the videos that I did earlier this year. And so that was something that was really happening at that point. But what we're talking about is people was reporting all of these extraterrestrial encounters, ranging from the sightings, from unidentified flying objects. While these reports, again, was hit with a lot of skepticism, there was still growing evidence of speculation that there was some type of scientific speculation that suggested aliens may have been inbreeding with humans. So this is what's happening at the same time. So we were getting bombarded with all of these reports, okay, which then solidified the fact that something was happening, right? Okay, we agree. But then it started going into a deeper discussion, the fact that, hey, there are some few babies could have been made. And let me give you a couple of things that we can discuss a little bit. There was reports of abductions. Okay, we're going to start there. Many people claim they have been abducted by aliens, and the reports subject to medical procedures, including collection of genetic material such as sperm, okay, such as eggs. You know, you hear a lot about that. You hear a lot of women that talks about their eggs, and there was cases that came up where women was pregnant, didn't know how they got pregnant, and then next thing you know, they was no longer pregnant and didn't know what happened. So some of these researchers believe that this could be part of a hybridization program. Now we're talking, let's go move into what we call genetic anomalies, okay? Some individuals claim to have specific anomalies, all right, that cannot be explained. We have the unexplained when it comes down to what we're talking about by human. And some of these things will be inherent in what I call patterns. For example, okay, some people report having extra vertebrae, okay, for an additional rib of some kind, or which could potentially be explained through incorporation of alien DNA. We have Rh negative blood. You know, a lot of people hear about those things. And so once again, the stories continue. And if you do your own research on Rh negative, you definitely want to find there's actually a town. I forget the name of it right off the bat, but the whole freaking town has some point of Rh negative blood, which they believe could be alien or extraterrestrial in origin. Now, we got UFO sightings. While these sightings are not direct evidence of hybridization, some researchers believe that this is an indicative to extraterrestrial visitations, which could potentially be linked to hybridization programs. So all of this, once again, could be happening. And then here's the one that kind of blew me away a little bit. Crop circles. Are you familiar with crop circles? If you are, then they're saying while the cause of crop circles are still a matter of debate. We're still trying to figure out, are they coming from above? Some people now saying they're coming from below. But some researchers believe that they are created by aliens and some form of communication to message to humanity, to us. And some crop circles depict intricate geometric patterns, right? And some people could potentially think that they contain some genetic code for information related to hybridizations. So look into that. Yeah, I see some people saying, yeah, crop circles. So those are another thing. And then, you know, lastly, we're talking about alleged insider accounts. Now, this is going to take us into a whole nother level as we get later on into the show to kind of get deeper into some of this stuff, okay? Alleged insider accounts, though, some individuals claim they have insider knowledge of hybridization programs. You look through YouTube, you're going to see a lot of people claiming that they're familiar with hybridizations. In fact, though, and I'm not saying claiming as in they're not warranted or whatever, but like I have a friend, Barbara Lamb, look her up. She's written many books on crop circles. She's written many books on hybrids. In fact, I've had people on my shows that claim to be part of a hybrid program, some that say that there are hybrids, and there's a few people, if you look over YouTube, there are hybrids. Now, there's a difference between the word hybrids and starseeds. We want to definitely change the name there, but you know, starseeds are beings, or well, let me get out of that for a minute. And they're humans, but what I'm saying is they're not part of where they will be at hybridization versus a soul that entered into human existence. Now, the possibility of alien hybrids raises profound questions all across the board, okay? And it's about our understanding of humanity and identity. And listen to me closely, if hybrids exist, the question would be, what rights would they have, right? Especially here, or would they be protected, you know, in our society? How would society react to the point that we got the discovery of hybrids? I'm not talking about the Professor X movie, X-Men, where they had these mutants and all of them got wings and are different colors and all those things. I'm just saying, what about the fact that how will we react if we realize that hybrids are walking among us? And so let's get into that. So what I'm going to do now is review a few theories that's out there, a few evidence maybe, and we're just going to talk about it surrounding the possibility of hybrids or hybridization, okay? And let's kind of get in there. First of all, I'm gonna ask a question for you though, for those of you in the chat. Do you think hybrids walk among us? Let me see what you say in the chat and your thoughts and everything. Do you think that there are hybrids walking among us today? And all right, some of you saying yes. Okay, well that's cool. Some people like no, yeah, no. All right, but okay, well I see there are a lot of people saying that we have some hybrids. Absolutely. Okay, so then this the rest of this conversation we're going to have tonight is going to be really good. So let's go back to I'm going to go over some of the theories out there. All right, and we're going to go with that. But appreciate you guys answering that particular question for me. Now, some of the possibilities. Okay, some of the possibilities of hybridization between humans and extraterrestrials. This has been a long topic, like I said, for some type of speculation debate, because actually, we don't have an identification program to say, okay, that's an hybrid. But of course, once again, we believe that they're around. So there are several theories and pieces of evidence that suggest it may be possible. So let's go over them. I'm glad you asked. Okay, so one of the theories is that aliens are using the hybridization as a mean of creating a new species, okay, to combine the best traits of both humans and aliens. Now, proponents of this theory point out that the reports of abductions and experimentations, as well as alleged insider accounts, okay, has evidence that the hybrids may already be living among us. And so we just talked about that, and most of you have already saying that they do. Now, I see a few of you saying, I don't even believe that aliens exist. Someone says X-Men is real. I get it. But another theory is that the hybrids are being created for more nefarious purposes. Yeah. And that's one that's one of the things that we got to really and I'm gonna actually look again. One of the theories is that the hybrids are created for nefarious purposes, such for infiltration and control.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry, what?
Such as infiltration of control. That's just a theory. I'm not saying it is. But this theory suggests that aliens are using hybrids to infiltrate human society, okay, and avert control over it. Now, there are some researchers have suggested that the hybrids may be able to communicate telepathically and making them ideal for covert operations. So this is like the big secret keepers, and we know who I call those, the governments or whatever, is now saying that they can use them for infiltration and then use them for weapons to go out and really do things where it's military, industrial complex using them for covert operations, CIA. You got all these people. So you never know, because you all heard about the super soldier project. There's so many things out there that we just have to go into. But anyway, while these theories are intriguing, I'm saying it again, they're still speculative, all right? So we're going to go with that, and they haven't been proven. But however, and there is the however, there are several pieces of evidence that suggest that it may be possible. And so these are just some of my thoughts. It has no implications on the channel or Billy Carson or whatever. These are just my thoughts, okay? For example, like I said, some people claim to have genetic anomalies all the time. They can't be explained by normal, human inherence patterns. We get this, especially in ufology. You get people that have all these great stories when it comes down to the additionally reports of abductions. We get like Whitley Strieber, he has a book called Communion, and he talked about how they experiment on him, how they implanted things with him. You hear women all the time that says that their sperms have been taken. I've got people that come all the time on the show that talks about how men that say that they are being used. Now I laugh at that one because some of these dudes, I'm like, dude, a woman wouldn't even use you. Why would an alien use you? But okay, that's their story. They got to stick to it. So reports of abductions and experimentations have also included genetic material being collected, as I said, which could potentially be used for hybridization. Now, and once again, it's important to know, and this is a kind of it's one of these conversations that we got to always stick within these parameters, that there is no direct evidence of hybridization except for the stories that people have told, some of the insiders, but the possibility cannot be ruled out. So this is why we're having this particular conversation tonight, and we're going to be doing that. And by the way, real quickly, it's Pisces time. If you're a Pisces, my birthday is in a few weeks, Pisces, and I just want to say happy birthday to all Pisces. Well, anyway, we're going to explore the scientific and some of the technological advancements that could make hybridization possible. And what I'm saying is not just the aliens are probably trying to create this. Mankind, mad scientists, all of these people could be at this point using technology to create some type of hybridization programs for humans. So we're getting to the discussion of the ideal alien-human hybrids, right? And I've heard many conversations being a ufologist about the scientific side of things, the technological advancement side of things, and while, again, the possibilities remain speculative, we're going to say that, but that does not mean that we don't have the technology to pull it off. We already see what they're doing with sheep and animals and all of these things. So imagine at this point where we're going. But one of the particular methods, all right, let's get into this. The method of what I call hybridizations is through genetic engineering. All right, so look that up. A lot of people probably got some familiar information about that, but this is one of the things that they kind of use. So the advanced, and we have a lot of advanced technology in genetic research today. We really do. That made it possible for us to modify DNA on living organisms. We can modify DNA on humans. And they do this, and it's happening today. So it doesn't rule out the fact that aliens could be doing it too, as well as humans. And so by altering human DNA, right, it may be possible to create a new hybrid species that walk among us that incorporates alien genetic material. And why not? If we start thinking about, most of us know that we're not alone in the universe. So we do know that these things are happening. But what about you? You could be an alien. You could be genetically modified. I would ask the question, but I just would be surprised to get the answer. But I'm going to ask it anyway. Any of you think you are a hybrid? Do you think you're a hybrid? And if so, put in the chat and be serious about it, because we want you to bag it up with some receipts of why you think that you're a hybrid or one. I'm not talking about this, politics stuff. Get the politics out of the room. We're not talking about that. We're really seriously talking about if you think you feel that you are a hybrid yourself. Another potential, check this out though, but another potential method that could possibly be used through advanced reproduction technologies, okay, such as vitro fertilization. This is happening. This technique involves combining sperms and eggs outside of the body, okay, then implanting them, result in an embryo, into the uterus. And so they're cooking these things up on the outside. Let me look and see if somebody said somebody said a starseed. I said a hybrid. In other words, ain't no hybrids, but I got it though. Did somebody say my wife is a hybrid? If you did, it went up through this thing so fast. He says my wife got RH+. Okay. I have hazel eyes. I don't know about that. But anyway, with the help of advanced reproductive technology, so just like I mentioned, it is possible to create hybrids, embryos that contain human and alien genetic material. And I'm not saying if that would go down, but do y'all remember the movie V back in the day? It was an old movie. And when the lady was pregnant, she ended up having twins. The first baby, came out, it looked like that. And the second one came out as an alien. This movie was happening, and it was about they came in and was breeding. It was so funny because the first baby looked normal until his tongue came out. He had a reptilian tongue. Then the twin came out looking like an alien itself. And so here are the two kids right there, one on the right and these are twins that she had in this particular movie. So it was pretty cool when we went through that. But anyway, yeah. So anybody, I'm sure y'all remember the movie. It was called V was the name of the movie itself. All right. So of course, and let me say this, of course, some of these medical ethical considerations, there's people out there will say, we won't pull this off because it's got some medical implications to it, right? But we got some mad scientists that are probably somewhere cooking up some stuff in a lab that will definitely change some things from there. And so that is one of the things. So, and despite all the concerns that they have out there, the possibilities of alien and human hybrids continue. And it's going to, again, capture all of the imaginations of everyone. But like I said, I'm not okay. Cosmic Girl says star seeds are considered hybrids. All right. We'll get to that on another conversation. So let's discuss some of the cultural and social implications, though, of discovering that aliens have been breeding with humans. Now, this is going to get really interesting once we get into doing this. And so the discovery of aliens breeding humans would probably have a profound social and cultural implications. And the existence of a new hybrid species would challenge all of the traditional understanding of humanity, probably, identity. It will probably spark a lot of deal of controversy, and then probably a lot of debate. I mean, everybody will probably lose their freaking minds once this starts happening. And then one of the most immediate implications would be the impact on relationships with the hybrid species anyway. I mean, are we going to kick it with them? You know what I'm saying? If hybrids would discover living among us, I mean, would we really be in a great deal of fear? Would people like mistrust them? Like, okay, and this is a real life example. We saw the movies though. And I think it's possibly could happen though, when it comes down to this, but is it possible that hybrids could be subject to discrimination or even violence from people who view them as a threat? So imagine what would happen now that we got hybrids existing, and it would make you wonder why they wouldn't reveal themselves in the first place, because they could think that people couldn't handle the fact that hybrids exist and there will be a problem. But at the same time, there will probably be a great deal of curiosity and fascination that'll be on my part, because I'll be like, hey, what it be like, right? And so we'll go there. But the existence of hybrids will definitely challenge our ideas about what it means to be human, period. And it definitely could inspire new scientific and just a lot of views. It'll probably spur a whole world that we wouldn't even think about. Someone says, I'm hybrid, and woman, if you date me. Okay, we all are hybrids. All right, y'all, I see y'all getting a kick out of the hybrid stuff. I get it. Another potential implication, though, would be the impact on understanding reproduction and parenthood. And if hybrids was capable of inbreeding with humans, it could raise questions, okay, about the natural family relationships and what it means to be a parent, right? Who would want, to be saying my mama is a hybrid, or by the way, my baby, or my sister, or whatever. I mean, it could get really crazy. And I say this because I think, once again, we're getting closer to situations like that. And this could be significant when it gets down to it. Once again, there will be a lot of ethical, concerns about it. But for example, if it was possible for hybrids to face, discrimination, anything from our society, you just got to think about it. What would happen? Would they actually want to have rights? And we don't even talk about they have some crazy superpowers, right? And we have to deal with that. All right, but we're going to consider what I call the impact of understanding humanity and identity when it comes down to this. Now, we're still talking about the discovery of alien and human hybrids, right? And what kind of profound effects it would have on society and understanding. And the existence of new hybrid species, though, let's go with that, will definitely challenge our traditional and some of the ideas that most of us will have. So what we're going to do from here, I got a couple of questions from you. And, would you think that society, I know some of you say that you think that we're not alone. What are your thoughts? And I'll look into the chat here. How would society react if we find out that there are hybrids walking among us? And, whether you find out one of them was one of your coworkers, or you find out that whatever. So what would you think would happen if you find out, or what would your thoughts be? What would your reaction be? I'll look for it in the chat as somebody tell me we're going to outcast them. boy. All right. Yeah. I think one of the potential impacts, there will be a blurred line between aliens and humans, period. And if the hybrids were incapable in breeding with humans, it's going to be a problem. And it will suggest that there's going to be a distinction between the two species. Now we're going to say this species is this species is that. And now all of a sudden, just like within the human race, we got all of these races and everything else. Now we introduce a whole new species, ladies and gentlemen, that breeding with our species, and this thing will get out of control really fast if this was revealed and it was happening. And there could be, once again, some implications when it comes down to the understanding of genetics and evolution. And the creation of new hybrid species will suggest that there should be some boundaries between the species that are not rigid. And again, some of them could be nefarious. And then, and I'm not going to be specific and say, okay, we have some reptilian type hybrids, and now they're out there doing whatever. Somebody talking about love. I don't know. I'm not for sure if we're going to go down that route, if love is the answer to some of that. That's for sure. So let's get down to addressing some of the potential ethical concerns. And I'm bringing this up because I do have a feeling that within the next several decades, we're going to have some disclosure of hybrids. I just think we're going down this road really, really fast. So let's get into one of the things I did not talk about is the existence of hybrids could challenge the ideas about what it means to be human, and could raise the questions of our nature itself, our identity itself, because you already got people saying it in here. We all are aliens. We all are humans. Oh, it says that they made us in the likeness of them ourselves, and all of this stuff. So once again, it could change everything. And if hybrids have both human and alien traits, it could suggest the understanding of identity is more complex and fluid than once believed. And so it'll change all of our perspectives if this was to come forward to this. And so once again, let's address some of the potential ethical concerns. The creation of a hybrid species could raise a lot of questions about, once again, the ethics of genetic engineering and manipulation. And we already know that's happening. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't the big secret keepers, doctors, our government decide that they say we could improve the human species, cure certain diseases or whatever by introduction of alien DNA into the human body? Would somebody go for that, though? Would you go for it? Would you go for, if someone says, hey, we need we can fix, we can grow your extra arm, by putting some alien DNA. I don't know. I'm just using that for example. But anyway, the discovery of human and alien hybrids could have implications for the understanding of morality as well, because people will probably lose their freaking minds. And if hybrids have both of the traits, human and alien traits, it could raise questions about the nature of the ethical, our moral framework. Are they Christian, or now you're Christian, or are you not, or what's your religious background now that you're a hybrid? And it can get tricky, people. It really can. And I think, as preparation come down, we will look at some of those things. It would also, we would probably go through not what we went through as a society back in the 50s and 60s trying to get equal rights, right? But the existence of hybrids could raise concerns about rights and protections, right? And what they're entitled to. You remember the movie that Will Smith did? I think it's called Bright. That's a pretty good thing about hybrids. You definitely want to check it out. But if they would discover living among us, there would be questions about the legal status now. Or would they be considered Americans? Would they be entitled to the same rights and protection as human beings? Could they get an EBT card because they ain't got no job? Or will we say, no, they can't accept unemployment, all this kind of crazy stuff though, but there'll be hybrids. And so we know how we already treat individual humans. So imagine how we will ultimately treat hybrids itself. And so I think it's funny. But I think at this point, you get where I'm going with this and how I'm trying to lead us down the path of not just think about hybrids themselves to say the existence of it. I think most of us agree that they're here. But now all of a sudden, the introduction into society as a norm will drive things off the charts from there. There will be potential consequences when it comes down to societal fear. There'll be a lot of people probably, and what happens if you go shoot one? Do you go to prison? Oh, I killed a hybrid. Is that considered inhuman? Would our laws impact the fact that, I wiped one of them out, but I still got to go to jail? I mean, like, no, it's not a human. I didn't, that's a hybrid. So, but I'm sure quickly there'll be some people that'll be voting that they're just normal, or whatever. Now, I think once we discover, some of these things, there will be a great deal of fear without a shadow of a doubt. There will be mistrust from members of society in a heartbeat. There will be probably potential people, having campaigns against the hybrids, and we need to destroy them all. Yep. Someone said District 9. That was a good movie, and that was a good example of hybrids. Well, they look like roaches and stuff, so they weren't going to get away with it. But they weren't hybrids though. They were just extraterrestrials. Their ship stopped here. They wasn't something that will potentially will come out halfway. Looking like something like this. Here's a baby just was born. Now, what if you had, ladies, what if you had this baby? Look at the eyes. Would you say, send him back? It ain't Spiegel's. But, what would you do? What if this is your first child? And what would you do? I mean, how do you pay child support for a hybrid? Boy, that'll be a good court case, Yeah, it would be. Imagine being on Marvy Porvik, show, and you know how they be doing it, and they go, coming to Alien as it is to Alien Baby, whatever. We're gonna give him a name, Jake, according to baby Jake. You are not the father. That would be just wow. You are not the father. Then the alien gets back on his spaceship, he all pissed off and leaving, whatever. But that's my humor. We can take that wherever we want. But you are not the father. All right. So, but the implication for understanding this could also challenge our traditional ideas about relationships with the universe, period, and could inspire, once again, new scientific and, all kind of other ideas and pretty much from there. But finally, I think we could discover that alien human hybrids could be probably good for society. You never know. But if the question was raised about the nature of life, and now we're going to get into consciousness now, right? Because that's going to be a big deal. consciousness now is going to be a big deal when it comes down to this. And so those are some of the things that we will definitely have challenges and really want to have a discussion about. I think it's pretty much. So what I'm going to do is we kind of explored, throughout this whole episode, a lot of stuff. I gave you a lot of thought-provoking topics and things to consider, right off the bat. Things that we can have some conversation about. But as we explore the possibility of hybridization programs between humans and extraterrestrials, now this is, again, raises a lot of questions from implications. And we're talking about, DNA. But the question would be is, what if they already exist? Let's move it up now. What if they already exist? What if there's already individuals walking among us that have both human and alien DNA? I think it's possible from my perspective and from some of the reports I get as a ufologist, that it is highly possible that they're already walking among us. And there's a lot of books out there. If you go through YouTube, there's a lot of people that are claiming, once again, that they are hybrids, and they talk about it. And it's just one of those things. And yeah, they could be, just looking at us like we are crazy right now. But once again, there's no concrete evidence to support what I'm talking about tonight, when it comes down to it. But some of the researchers and enthusiasts believe that hybrids are already living among us. And once again, it comes from those reports of abductions, experimentations, as well as, like I said earlier in the show, those alleged insider accounts. All these people suggest that the hybridization may have already occurred and that they are already here on Earth. And if it's true, it raises a lot of questions that, we need to think about, the implications for our society. So I say this because we already see the introduction of these balloons and UFOs that they're now was flying over our skies. You have the alien invasion possibility, which is a conspiracy that's been out there quite some time. All of these things are brewing, and they're getting deeper, especially in today's society where we are. And so, once again, it brings you back into saying, okay, what is really happening once we get down to, what is happening with if the hybrids walked among us. And once again, it could also, I don't know what would happen in our legal framework. Like I said earlier, if you was to pop one of them, would you go to prison? Would they say, okay, wait a minute, there is some human inside into this hybrid, enough human percentage that it can be considered human? We've seen it before. I mean, there's people that are, mixed race, and if their one father's black, the mother's white, vice versa. Now, how much percentage make it a black person or a white person? So the same thing when it comes down to alien DNA. How much of a hybrid would this person be? And then if that's the case, is the person protected when it comes down to this particular side of the fence? But ultimately, all I'm just going to say, once again, hybrids are living among us, and it's something that, everybody should be intrigued about. I don't know if we can put together some kind of detection system that we can figure it out, but then what would we do? So my thing right now would be, would society go against the fact that hybrids are here? Would we have a breakdown where all of a sudden that people are now saying, hey, we need to wipe them off the planet and one of those things? I'm not for sure. And we can look at it. One of the other parts of this, and I said it before, would be even in a more of a political and legal spectrum of hybridization. And we talked about the humans, and there's been a lot of questions when it comes down to it. But if they were discovered, would they require any kind of reevaluation of our political framework? So we already know that you got secret societies, you got all of these different people that at some point, this thing can get deep. It can really get really deep when it comes down to how we should look at it when it comes down to any of the potential consequences of the impact of citizenship and nationality and all of these things. And I will believe that we all seen Men in Black, right? When they first had it, where they had this thing where all of them was coming through these portals, and they had to, register themselves as a hybrid. I mean, not a hybrid, but an alien from another planet. It was like we do the same thing already. But what if, now this is me going, but what if the hybrids got superpowers? What if they got some superpowers and they decide to say, we ain't putting up with that sugar honey iced tea. We're not going to put up with it. We're going to fight back. What do you do? And, you got people that fallen in love. There was a movie called, was it Spice or something like that, or Splice or something. I don't know if y'all seen it, but that was pretty much, somebody thought I got superpowers. I heard that. But what I'm saying is, what would you do? If they, if these hybrids got superpowers, what would you do? I don't know. But I will say this, though. Here, one of the bigger potential consequences is the impact, once again, on citizenship and nationality. If the hybrids were discovered to be living among us, there will probably be questions about, once again, legal status. Now, this will be, is they're entitled to some of the same rights and protections as humans, okay, something to think about. And there also will be questions if whether they could be considered citizens and their home is planet Earth. Would this be our home, or would they be like, no, really, y'all really, sitting here. We brought y'all here along. This is our place. Would we then be like, let's protect planet Earth? This is Mother Earth. This is ours. Y'all don't belong here. Like I said, this is just a conversation tonight to open some of those things up. And it also is going to raise questions about, this is going to go global. You're talking about diplomatic relationships, all kinds of stuff. And I don't know. I just wanted to go deeper into the conversation tonight, because it was like, okay, wait a minute. What if this happens? What if hybrids are here? What do we do about that in some of the things? And I think it's kind of, moment we would do that. All right. So I'm gonna play our, one of our, ads again for Billy, for the Conscious Award. And then we're going to, go to a few topic discussions, and then we will bow out peacefully, when we do this. So let me, play our branded commercial here, and let's make it rock right now.
Hey everybody, it's Billy Carson, also known as Forbidden Knowledge. I want to talk to you about a very special event coming up July 30th, 2023, the Forbidden Conscious Awards, the first annual event of its type. We're going to honor people who have been contributing to the conscious community for decades. People that you know and love that have helped you get to higher levels of thought and consciousness and awareness. And guess what? It's time to give them their flowers while they're still alive. It's going to be a live in-person event, but seats are going to sell out very fast. You want to make sure you're there in person for this amazing level event. It's going to be above the Oscars, above the Grammys. And guess what? You can help vote for the winners. Voting is available on forbiddenknowledge.com. And the categories are going to be social media influencer, podcast/radio host, TV host, actor, director, producer, entrepreneurs, health and wellness, philanthropists, authors, field researchers, archaeologists, space anomaly hunters, and of course, a Lifetime Achievement Award. And you want to be there in person because I'm going to be speaking. That's right, I'll be your keynote speaker that night at the Forbidden Conscious Awards. If you want to come to a mini conference, this is the place to be, because I'm going to give you the knowledge that night, as well as performances. We have celebrity guests performing. We'll have a halftime show where we're actually going to perform music for you. And don't forget about the pre-event mixer, where if you buy a box seat, you'll be in the VIP section, and you also have private access to a VIP mixer with celebrity guests. Shake hands, break bread, network, and then walk the red carpet with us and take amazing photos. It's going to be a night to remember. You don't want to forget this. And you help vote by going to forbiddenknowledge.com. Go to the Conscious Awards link. You can text in a vote for who you want for any category. As well as if you're out of the country, you can use the web form ballot to still vote for anyone you think is worthy of being honored that night. Make sure you hurry up and get your tickets because they're selling out very fast. I want to see you there. Forbidden Conscious Awards 2023.
All right, definitely want to see each and every one of you there, and hopefully if you're going to be there, get your tickets. And like you said, but in the meantime, go vote for Roderick.com. Yes, put me in the podcast nomination. I already been nominated, but I definitely could use your votes, whether it's just one of you, 5 of you, 10 of you, or 100. Definitely go ahead and do a vote. There is a link in the description of this video if you go in there and you want to put the vote. Also, if you haven't had an opportunity, we do a show on my YouTube channel, which is called Why the Big Secret, Roderick Martin. There's an interview that we just did 2 days ago. You don't want to miss it. It's Blake Stanley. He's a person out of Dallas, and he talks about his UFO encounter. So we sat down with him personally, shared what has been happening, how it's been tormenting him, is the word I want to use, affected his family, his life, and you will be really intrigued on his story. So when you go to Why the Big Secret YouTube channel, it'll be featured as an interview that we released 2 days ago. You do not want to miss this because some of you probably will resonate with his story from there. All right, so let's kind of go from what we're going to be talking about here for a quick moment. And this is the potential issues when it comes down to, hybrids. And one of the questions I would say would be, how will we detect them? What you think there's a way that we could create some type of system to detect the fact that hybrids walk among us? And what would be the consequences of discovering that someone is a hybrid? So, for example, let's just say your bestie, and I'm not going to say it's your brother, sister, cousin, or whatever, but let's just say your bestie was discovered to be a hybrid, okay? Let's just say. And what would you do? What would you do if we're now having some kind of hybrid detection and all of a sudden your bestie is a hybrid? What would you do? Let's see. I want to see some of you and what would you do about your bestie that was a hybrid? And I'm going to use bet. I didn't want to say somebody, family member or something, because then we just want to say they're outside your family. Somebody talking about learn more about them. No, I'm saying, or you would learn, would you turn them in though? Would you turn them in and somebody talking about I still love my bestie? All right. So there's a $10 million bounty. Let's raise the ante here. There's a $10 million bounty on people that we are looking for that are hybrids, and one of them turns out to be your best friend. What's going to happen? somebody talking about, bro, I asked him so many questions. That'll be freaking cool. All right, well, that's a good thing. It's all about character. I see what y'all saying. All right, I'll keep drinking Hennessy. Whatever somebody else said. Okay, that's cool. Y'all funny. Y'all real funny. I think, there will probably be okay, wait a minute. We got some good people. Love is love. No, I won't tell. Man, y'all some wonderful folks. Y'all really are. Someone else said I would be curious and everything else. Okay, that's cool. Breed with them. All right. So what if you found out your bestie was a hybrid and now they want to breed with you? Now they want to do an inbreeding program, and now that you know, they say, okay, listen, I want to breed, male or female. Okay. And they don't have to be your bestie. Forget that. Would any one of you breed in a hybrid to make babies? Put that in the chat before we get out of here. That'll be the question. Male or female, would you breed a hybrid and make a hybrid kiddo? And the kiddo will come out looking something like this or that. But would you make this baby with the possibility? Would you? Would you create this baby? What are y'all talking? Some of y'all like, yeah, I can't believe it. Some of you say you would. As for me,
Hell no.
I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. It's not going to go down. But man, that's a lot of you talking about, yep. Yeah. Okay. All right. We got a few no thank yous. Somebody talking about, let's get it on. Do I have to raise it? Yeah. And you're going to be on child support for the baby too. They're still going to go to court. Well, you could get away with it. Be like, look, that's not a real baby. I don't have to go to child support. What a question. No, do I? All right. So what's going on? Do y'all? All right. Okay. I see a phone number. You talking about? Nope. We're not doing it. Not doing it. Hell knows. Okay. No way. All right. No child support. No, he'll do it. All right. Y'all funny. Could you be one and not know? It's a possibility. It's a possibility that you could be one and not know. That is a possibility that you could be a hybrid and have no freaking clue about it from there. All right, so let's do it like this. All right, so we're going to bow out gracefully and get out of here tonight. We had a lot of few things that I'm working on technically and, our cameras, and we've been moving our studio around. And so it's been pretty interesting from there. But anyway, I hope that I just open up a conversation just to talk about hybrids and just the thought process. And the whole detail tonight was just to be a little thought-provoking, to see your thoughts and your opinions and what would happen when it comes down to a hybrid. Thank you, old man. Says it's a great show. I appreciate it. And once again, if you haven't had an opportunity to go over to our YouTube channel, Why the Big Secret. Once again, there is an interview we just posted with a gentleman that went through some extreme harsh times with his UFO encounter. And I just sat him down in the studio and pretty much interviewed that. So you want to definitely do that. The link right here is in the description. The producer just put that link there. Definitely go over there. Subscribe to the channel. We need a few hundred people to hit our 11,000 subs. And so we definitely appreciate it from there. And once again, if you are a hybrid, then welcome to Earth. That's all I can tell you. Welcome to Earth. But if you are willing to make a hybrid baby, welcome to the whole thing. I don't know what to tell y'all, but that'll be something. I don't know. But like I said, there are some people that we do have that says that they're hybrids, and so they come to the show. So you'll be able to check them out. But anyway, it's been a plum, pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege serving you tonight, and we'll see you next week. Doc Be Serious is going to be here with the Dr. Be Serious. We're going to interview him, talk about aliens. You've seen him on the workshops and all of that, so he'll be here with us next week. Definitely want you to check that out. All right, y'all. Much love. Good night. And y'all have a blessed day.